Running dairy cows on marginal acreage can be a financial death trap engineered to bleed even the most veteran rancher dry. The soaring cost of commercial grain, heavy diesel machinery, and the massive amount of land required to sustain a single bovine will often eat your profit margins alive, long before that milk ever hits the bulk tank. But there is a far more efficient, rugged, and aggressive biological engine waiting in the barnyard. A living refinery capable of turning thorny brush and scrub oak into liquid white gold. High-producing dairy goats aren't just a backup plan for the small-time homesteader, they are the ultimate offensive strategy to maximize profit per square foot and secure relentless self-sufficiency against extreme climates. Today, we are breaking down the genetics, the gritty management, and the raw financial math behind the top 7 dairy goat breeds on the planet. This way, you'll know exactly which biological machine to deploy on your land without wasting a single dime on dead-end feed. Let's dive in. Number 1. The White Queen of Fluid Milk. The Saanen goat. When we talk about sheer volume and brute force on the milking line, there is absolutely no rival that can touch the genetics of this Swiss powerhouse. She is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the commercial goat dairy industry, built with a deep barrel and massive ruminal capacity designed to process forage at industrial speeds. These goats flood the bulk tanks, easily pushing out 1 to 2 gallons a day and sustaining massive lactations over 300-day cycles. It's an overwhelming volume that guarantees aggressive cash flow. However, this hyperproduction hides a fatal flaw that rookie producers tragically ignore. Their pure white coats and unpigmented skin make them sitting ducks for extreme solar radiation. In the blistering sun of the American Southwest or the Deep South, they suffer severe heat stress and sunburns, crashing their yields overnight. They demand solid shade, heavy cross-ventilation, and unforgiving facility management. Fueling this queen requires pure nutritional strategy. Her redline metabolism demands premium, high-protein forage like Western-grade alfalfa, backed by heavy grains to support the milk flow without stripping her body condition. Furthermore, the herdsman must enforce ruthless sanitary protocols on her mammary system. Udders of that colossal size are highly prone to acute clinical mastitis if the barn bedding isn't bone-dry and heavily treated with agricultural lime. On the preventative side, they also require a strict deworming protocol. Because they channel every ounce of metabolic energy into the milk pail, their immune systems are left vulnerable to heavy parasite loads if pasture rotation isn't tight. If you have a temperate climate, premium hay, and operational discipline, this white machine will hand you the keys to a dairy empire. Number 2. The all-terrain 4x4 of the high country, the Alpine goat. If the Saanen is a Formula One car built for a perfect track, the Alpine is the tactical 4x4 off-roader engineered to conquer the most unforgiving landscapes. With her feline agility, dense bone structure, and explosive muscle, this goat thrives on steep rocky grades and Appalachian brush where other livestock would simply starve. Her most imposing feature isn't just her physical stamina, but her literal hooves of steel. Forged in the Alps, these hooves drastically reduce foot rot issues in damp climates and allow them to scale vertical drops for unreachable brows. They are master escape artists and natural climbers. Your perimeter fencing must be tall, brutally tense, and sabotage-proof. Woven wire backed by a hot electric offset is mandatory. It is a relentless survival instinct forged into flesh and bone. On the production front, this breed is a bastion of commercial consistency and financial security, delivering rock-solid lactations hovering around a gallon a day. Her milk carries a perfect ratio of fat and protein, pushing 3.5% butterfat, making it the ultimate canvas for semi-hard artisan cheeses. But what truly commands the respect of veteran ranchers is her brutal feed conversion efficiency on marginal land. Her browsing instinct is so aggressive she will strip woody brush, dead leaves, and thick bark, turning commercially worthless weeds into premium milk. Health-wise, her ruggedness makes her highly resistant to gastrointestinal parasites compared to more delicate lines. She requires little more than basic, strategic deworming when the spring flush hits. If your acreage is steep, rocky, or overgrown, this is the ultimate tool to turn a profit. Number 3. The Swiss tank for the bitter cold, the Toggenburg goat. When the thermometer plummets, the wind howls across the Midwest, and frost locks down the pasture, you need an unbreakable line of defense in your barn. No other breed is so genetically armored against the bitter cold. Compact, stocky, and marked by their signature solid brown coats with crisp white facial stripes, these goats are walking fortresses. They've been selectively bred for centuries in freezing alpine valleys to keep their core temperature and milk production firing on all cylinders in sub-zero weather, conditions that would send lesser breeds into immediate hypothermia. This natural thermal armor means you won't have to bleed capital on artificial heating or million-dollar climate-controlled barns. Give them a rugged, bone-dry, draft-free shelter, and these winter survivors will operate at peak capacity. Their temperament is docile and highly gregarious, making it incredibly easy to manage dense herds in tight winter quarters during heavy blizzards. The financial magic of this tank isn't just in winter survival, it's in the exceptional biochemistry of her milk. Pumping out consistently over half a gallon a day, her milk carries notably higher milk solids, yielding incredibly dense, firm curds. This is the definitive raw material for long-aged, sharp artisanal cheeses that command top dollar. Managing this breed nutritionally requires a strategic winter battle plan. They need top-tier oat hay and fast-burning energy spikes, like cracked corn, to replace the calories they burn just staying warm. In the field, the producer must be hyper-vigilant about manually drying the teats post-milking. If you skip this step in the dead of winter, severe frostbite will permanently destroy the udder tissue. If you battle brutal northern winters, this is your greatest asset. Number 4. The high-fat cheese machine, the Murciana Granadina goat. While other breeds pant and collapse under the punishing glare of the Texan or Arizonan sun, this small but mighty Iberian warrior rises up as the undisputed queen of scorching heat and absolute drought. She is, in terms of raw efficiency, the Jersey cow of the desert. Physically, she is a medium-framed animal with a short, dark coat that hides an extraordinary physiological adaptation to thrive in semi-arid wastelands. They easily shrug off 100-degree Fahrenheit summers without ever dropping their dry matter intake. Her metabolism retains water with hyper-efficiency, and she maintains an astonishing fertility rate no matter how burned out the pasture gets. Her dark skin renders her immune to sunburn and skin cancer, and her fine bone structure is practically invulnerable on sun-baked rocky ground. She survives and dominates exactly where traditional cattle lay down and die. But the true power of this breed explodes violently in the cheese vat. While her volume sits at a modest half-gallon to a gallon a day, what drops from her udder is a thick, syrupy extract loaded with a brutal concentration of butterfat and protein. Routinely smashing past 5% butterfat, her cheese yield per gallon absolutely obliterates high-volume competitors. You need significantly fewer gallons of milk to press a pound of premium cheese, exponentially multiplying your profit margins. Feeding this machine on open rangeland is a masterclass in radical farm economics. She extracts valuable nutrients from dead stubble and harsh, dry brush, demanding far less expensive protein pellets in the trough. However, the rancher must be extremely cautious with environmental moisture. Her lungs and hooves will not tolerate constant mud or humid southern swamps. She demands flawless drainage to prevent lethal outbreaks of caprine pneumonia. Keep her dry and hot, and she will make you rich. Number 5. The spotted sentinel of the South, the Florida goat. When the pasture dries up and is punished by an unforgiving climate, a true survivor rises from the horizon, engineered for extreme efficiency. Physically unmistakable with her mottled red and white or black and white coat, this goat isn't just a picturesque pasture ornament. She is a biological fortress forged in the harsh scrublands of Europe and perfectly suited for the punishing conditions of the American South. Her adaptation to drastic thermal swings is fascinating, enduring freezing mornings and blistering afternoon heat with an unflinching stoicism that breaks the will of more fragile breeds. In terms of temperament, she is highly alert, active, and possesses an exceptional flocking instinct that makes managing massive herds on open rangeland a breeze. However, her greatest operational advantage for the shrewd rancher lies in her brutal reproductive efficiency. She exhibits nearly continuous year-round breeding, allowing you to group kidding seasons with military precision, guaranteeing strategic lactation peaks when the commercial milk market pays the highest premiums. Facilities-wise, she demands solid perimeter fencing due to her exploratory nature, but she forgives infrastructure mistakes because she prefers sleeping under the stars over strict confinement. She is pure hardiness taken to the absolute extreme, a guaranteed climate-proof investment. The true financial spectacle of this breed explodes when we analyze her performance at the feed bunk and the milking parlor, striking a masterful balance between volume and milk solids that fascinates the artisan cheese industry. In rugged systems, this grazing machine demonstrates flawless tactical veracity, stripping thorny brush, dry stubble, acorns, and hard browse that traditional cattle would completely reject. Despite feeding on marginal scrubland, her metabolic engine sustains yields hovering around 3/4 of a gallon to a full gallon a day of exceptionally rich milk. With butterfat levels hitting 5% and protein pushing above 3.5%, her cheese yield is staggeringly high, allowing the producer to maximize profits without relying on expensive imported grain. On the preventative health front, this breed is a walking shield against common diseases, but the elite rancher cannot let their guard down. Her constant roaming over rocky terrain demands methodical hoof trimming to avoid severe lameness, and during seasons of heavy torrential rain, strict control against lungworms is mandatory. keep her feet solid and her lungs clear to thrive continuously, ensuring an uninterrupted cash flow throughout her entire productive lifespan. Number 6. The thermal engine of mass production, the Malagueña goat. If your ranch sits out in the Mojave or the deep Texas brush where the sun bakes the earth and shade is a rare luxury, you need to install the ultimate red machine in your corral. Known among veterans as the thermal engine of mass production, this red-coated goat is a prodigy of thermoregulation, genetically hardwired to run at maximum RPMs under suffocating heat that would collapse the nervous system of any Alpine breed. Her lean anatomy and highly vascularized skin act as a natural radiator, dissipating internal core heat without ever compromising her voracious appetite. Temperament-wise, she is an electric, high-energy animal that demands firm but calm handling to avoid unnecessary stress in the milking parlor. As for infrastructure, while they despise cold dampness, they tolerate confinement exceptionally well if provided with flawless cross-ventilation to sweep lethal ammonia out of the bedding. But what truly makes her a livestock powerhouse is her explosive fertility and sky-high rate of twin births. She is a replacement heifer factory that floods the barn with viable kids, rapidly accelerating herd expansion. It is an aggressive growth strategy every commercial producer should implement without hesitation. To sustain this frantic pace of multiplication and milking, fueling this red beast requires a strategy based on heavy fiber and rancher ingenuity. They possess a rugged, aggressive digestive tract capable of devouring and fermenting tough agricultural byproducts like olive leaves, almond hulls, and woody stalks, transforming pure pruning waste into rivers of milk. Her production volume is frankly intimidating, easily pushing past a gallon a day in extended campaigns, standing shoulder to shoulder with the Swiss giants but demanding a fraction of the climate comfort. This milk maintains an enviable butterfat and protein percentage that secures premium prices in any demanding market. However, such biological horsepower carries lethal risks if the herdsman gets negligent. The most critical medical red alert for this breed flashes during the final 6 weeks of gestation. Because of the immense metabolic drag of growing multiple, fast-developing fetuses, they are prime candidates for pregnancy toxemia, a rapid, fatal metabolic crash caused by an energy deficit. They require a meticulous ramp-up of high-energy grains during this phase. Fuel her thermal engine with pinpoint accuracy, and she will hand you an inexhaustible dairy empire. Number 7. The cream heavyweight, the Anglo-Nubian goat. Closing out this productive elite, we find an unmistakable, imposing, and aristocratic animal that has rightfully earned the title of the cream heavyweight of the goat world. Recognizable from a mile away by her sharply convex facial profile, the classic Roman nose, and her long, pendulous ears, the Nubian is far more than a visual marvel. Those massive ears act as sophisticated biological radiators, packed with blood vessels that dump core body heat, allowing them to thrive and dominate in the hot, suffocating humidity of the Deep South, where other breeds would helplessly suffocate. Her temperament is a double-edged sword the producer must fully understand. They are incredibly affectionate and intelligent animals, but simultaneously they are loud, demanding, and highly vocal complainers. If they are bored or hungry, they will unleash booming bellows that echo across the entire valley, a critical factor if you have close neighbors. Regarding facilities, while they are bulletproof against extreme heat, they possess a visceral hatred for mud and freezing drafts. They require elevated shelters, deep dry bedding, and structures that completely block heavy rains, as their short, sleek coats offer zero barrier against the biting cold. Building draft-free, moisture-controlled barns is the tax you pay to house dairy royalty on your land. The real reason elite herdsmen introduced this genetics into their operation is the staggering biochemical profile of her milk. While her daily volume is moderate, usually hovering around a half gallon to 3/4 of a gallon, what you extract from her mammary system is a thick syrup loaded with absolute commercial value. We are talking about ultra-creamy milk that routinely shatters the 5 and even 6% butterfat barrier, making it the unrivaled raw material for premium butter, dense artisan yogurts, and luxury cheeses you can sell for absolute top dollar. Nutritionally, this butterfat refinery demands constant respect. You cannot sustain her on marginal weeds if you want to squeeze out her full commercial potential in the milk parlor. She responds explosively to top-tier forage like prime western alfalfa and requires a strategic top dress of oil-rich seeds. On the veterinary front, the herdsman must take extreme precautions with her most iconic feature, her ears. Because they hang heavy and low, they block airflow to the ear canal, creating a dark, humid environment highly prone to chronic infections. Manage her environment proactively, and you will own an endless goldmine of exclusive gourmet products. We have broken down the deep genetics and the unforgiving math behind these 7 biological machines of the dairy goat sector. It has become crystal clear that there is no single universally superior breed, only the perfect tactical design for your specific acreage. Dropping a high-mountain animal into a scorching desert is guaranteed financial suicide. The truly ruthless producer meticulously evaluates their terrain, mercilessly audits their available forage resources, and selects the exact productive engine that will turn their weeds into pure, high-impact commercial profit. You are the key strategist, the ultimate commander of this living machinery, directing this complex tactical operation straight toward total victory on the open range. Now I am handing the reins over to you, the true protagonist of this agricultural battlefield. Let me know down in the comments below which of these powerhouse breeds makes the most sense for your farm's infrastructure and your local climate challenges. If this exhaustive tactical breakdown brought raw, hard-hitting value to your future livestock decisions, subscribe to the channel right now and smash that like button so we can keep delivering unbreakable, boots-on-the-ground advice. Do not let hesitation paralyze you. Maximum profitability is waiting out in the barnyard, so get out there and conquer your dairy market. To your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.